All right, if you're a tester who works with Java, I bet you've run into this. Access modifiers. They can feel like these random locked doors in the code, right? Well, in this explainer, we're going to give you the keys to unlock all of them. Let's dive in. We've all been there. You're trying to write a test, you go to access a variable, and bam, you get that compiler error, not visible. It's super frustrating. But what if I told you there's a really simple way to understand exactly why this happens and what it all means? To make this all click, we're going to use one simple idea for this whole thing. Just picture any Java class you're working with as a house. Seriously, everything inside it, all the variables, all the methods, they're just the rooms and furniture inside that house. So welcome to the Java house. And here's the one thing you need to remember. Access modifiers are just the locks on the doors. That's it. They just decide who gets a key and who doesn't, who can come on in and who has to stay on the porch. Now, in our Java house, there are basically 4 types of doors or locks you're going to find. We're about to take a quick tour and look at each one. Public, protected, default, and private. Each one has its own rule about who's allowed through. First up is public. This one's the easiest. Think of public as the main front door of the house, and it's just wide open. Anybody can walk in. From anywhere, other classes, other packages, it makes no difference. If it's public, it's open for business for everyone. Next, we have protected. Okay, this one's a little more exclusive. This is like a door that's only open for, family and close friends. In JavaSpeak, family means any subclass that inherits from this one, and friends means any other class living in the same neighborhood, or as we call it, the same package. So what happens if you don't even write a modifier? Well, that's called default access. The best way to think about this is like having no front door to the outside world, but all the houses in your little cul-de-sac are connected. Only other classes in the exact same package can get in. And finally, the strictest one of all, private. This is basically your personal diary, locked in a safe. Only you, meaning only the class itself, can get to it. Nobody else gets a key, period. No exceptions. So here they are, all lined up. Public is the open front door. Protected is for family and friends. Default is just for the neighborhood, and private is your own locked room. You can really see how the access gets tighter and tighter as you go down the list. All right, enough theory, right? Let's see how these rules actually work when a visitor shows up at our Java house. Time for a real code example. Okay, so here's our house. It's a class called parent, and it lives in the home package. Inside, we've got 4 things, one for each modifier we just talked about: a public name, a protected age, a default family secret, and a private password. Now, a visitor arrives. It's our tester class, and it's coming from a totally different neighborhood called the test package. First, it tries to access the name variable. Since name is public, the open front door, access is granted. Easy peasy. Next up, the tester tries to find out the age. But wait, age is protected. Since our tester isn't family, it's not a subclass of parent, and it's not a friend, it's in a different package, the door is locked. Access denied. So what about that family secret? Well, that has default access, which means it's only for the neighborhood, right? The home package. Our tester is from the test package, so it's an outsider. Once again, access is denied. And finally, the password. This is private. The locked room. It doesn't matter who's asking, nobody outside the parent class itself can ever see this. So, of course, our tester gets another error. Okay, so now that we get the rules of the house, how do we actually apply this as testers? What are the real, practical do's and don'ts you should follow when you're writing your test code? This slide really breaks it down. On the do side, make your test methods public. That's how the testing framework finds them. Also, feel free to use default or protected for helper stuff inside your test package. It keeps things tidy. But, and this is a big one, on the don't side, never, ever weaken the security of the main code just to make a test easier. And please, don't try to test private fields directly. If you do, your test is going to be super brittle and will break all the time. Let's look at one last really common scenario. Imagine we have a calculator class. It's got a public add method. That's the feature we want to test. But it also has a private secret key. That's an internal detail that the rest of the world just shouldn't care about. So in our test class, we can call calc.add all day long. That's the public front door, and that's how we check that the calculator works. But the second we try to peek at that private secret key, the compiler stops us dead in our tracks. And honestly, this is a good thing. It forces us to test the calculator's behavior, not its secret inner workings. And that brings us to the end of our tour. We've seen the 4 types of locks and exactly how they work. Let's do a super fast final recap just to make sure you've got your keys straight. Here's the too long didn't read version. Public is for absolutely everyone. Protected is for the same package and any subclasses. Default is for the same package only, and private is only for the class itself. That's really the whole shebang. You see, understanding these modifiers isn't just about reading code. It's about writing clean, secure, and testable code yourself. It gives you the power to design better houses. So the real question is, now that you have the keys, how are you going to choose to build yours?